Here in Chauvin, Louisiana, just about 60 miles southwest of New Orleans, population 6,000. Locals here tell me that a lot of times when natural disasters happen, they feel like they're forgotten because the bigger cities are the first places to get disaster relief. But two best friends from South Texas wanted to make sure this community got the help they needed. Every one of the lives lost in Uvalde had a story. Every person had things that made them unique. I'm Lupe Zapata in Edna, Texas, where one family is doing their best to honor the victims by providing their famous, uniquely made custom caskets. And they're doing it for free.
Our Lupe Zapata has been following this story, speaking with folks in North Texas about Reed's release. He joins us now from Reed's family home in Granbury. Lupe, what an amazing turn of events. Tell us, what was the reaction where you are today?
You know, as a reporter who's been following this story, seeing the news this morning, I squealed with excitement. I got so excited, and I think a lot of the people here in Granbury this morning felt the exact same thing when they started seeing the headlines showing through that he'd been released. Now, right now, I'm here about 7 miles outside of downtown Granbury. This is where the Reed family lives. One thing that connects us all is gratitude. We all have that one thing or one person we're thankful for. I'm here at Clyde Warren Park in downtown Dallas, and I'm asking people to sit down and tell me what they're thankful for. Some North Texas restaurants are having to start the new year closed because of the rise in COVID cases. Amori Kessel here in Deep Ellum has been closed for more than 2 weeks because the owner's entire family recently tested positive. Animal shelters across the country could always use more money. That's nothing new. But when a national trend starts producing random donations, the power of social media and Betty White begin to shine. And here at the Humane Society of Dallas County, they're feeling the love. Here inside Cedar Hill Roller Rink, it feels like you've timed one, and that's fitting because it's the oldest operating roller rink in Texas. The pandemic almost shut it down, but thanks to some help from the city, it's still a place memories can be made. On the same day the memorial honoring the victims killed in the Allen shooting is taken down, one of the victims who survived is released from the hospital. Locals here tell me they're moving forward, but never forgetting. I'm Lupe Zapata in downtown New Orleans. Right here, the Resilience Corps has set up to give away free food to anybody who wants it. Now, as cars are driving up, they're passing out food. They're making sure that anybody who needs it is getting it today. There are about 25 volunteers here, and they've been set up since 7 a.m. this morning. We spoke to a couple of them about why they're so passionate about this work.
Jace, Jacqueline, Layla, Jose, Uzziah, Nebe, Rogelio, Xavier, Sarah, Annabelle, Lexi, and Eliana.
Those names belong to the 12 of Catalina's friends and classmates she didn't get to say goodbye to.
He shot the teachers first, and then some of the kids went out the window.
10-year-old Catalina wasn't there to witness the tragedy, but her friends who were have shared the details.
Is it scary to know that she could have been one of the ones in the class?
Very scary.
Her mom, Maricela, had checked her out of school earlier in the day after an end-of-year awards ceremony.
I've cried all yesterday, all this morning, and then I found out her best friend passed, and yeah, it's sad.
That best friend she lost is 10-year-old Eliana Cruz Torres. They'd known each other since preschool.
Tell me a little bit about her personality.
She was nice, funny. She liked a lot of boys.
Do you know what she wanted to be when she grew up?
I think she said a nurse or a doctor. We used to play around a lot, and sometimes we wouldn't listen to the teacher, and we'll just we'll talk to each other, do notes about each other and all that.
Maricela says their teacher, Arnulfo Reyes, who's a close friend of the family, was shot 3 times.
He's a good teacher, really good teacher, yeah. He cares for the kids, he loves his kids.
He's now recovering in the hospital and is sharing what happened.
He just got out of surgery, they're taking tubes and everything out, and that he's just now talking about it, and he said it was scary that the shooter had him hostage and started threatening him and everything before he shot all the kids.
Maricela says her daughter and her classmates never went through active shooter drills and that she's never had a conversation with Kat about the possibility of something like this ever happening in their town.
We've heard, about it and, where it's happened and stuff like that, but never did we think that it'd happen here.
Right now, in their time of mourning, she says above all of her feelings, she's thankful Kat wasn't in the classroom.
I told her she had angels watching her.
Here in Corsicana, Texas, the family who lives in this home behind me was very excited to decorate for Pride this year. They knew they might get some backlash from their community, but they weren't expecting to have their flags torn down, with one left burning right there in front of their door. They told me that they're not stopping. They're going to keep decorating, and that love always wins.
We wanted to move to the country because we both grew up in small towns, and we wanted to move here so that we could raise our daughter with the small town values and with community.
Terry and his husband Keith turned the small town house into a home.
We met in a bar in Memphis. He was standing in the corner, and all I could see was his beautiful, clear blue eyes. We got to know each other, and the more we got to know each other, we fell in love.
Keith's away on a business trip, so Terry gave me the house tour.
This was foil paper before.
As the only openly gay couple in town raising an 8-year-old, they're known for their curb appeal.
People actually drive by our house to see what we've done next. Lots of people drive by to see what we've done.
They've lived here for the last 4 years and are proud of the life they've created together and decided to decorate for Pride this year.
This is actually the first year we've gone out like this. We've never really hung a pride flag.
And they win all out, with more than a dozen pride flags and rainbow banners.
You have the transgender flag, you have the new pride flag, you have the lesbian flag.
But after just one day of the decorations being up, they got a phone call from police.
And they told us, your house had been vandalized. I said, Keith, wake up. The house has been vandalized, and the first thing out of Keith's mouth was, well, that didn't take long.
They had every flag in their front lawn burned, with one left ablaze at the family's front door.
And to have to tell your child about hate is horrible. It's horrible. To have to say somebody burns your flags because they hate us.
I joined Terry as he spoke at a Corsicana City Council meeting about the incident that's being investigated as a hate crime.
Pride flags are starting to pop up in this entire city, everywhere. It is my intention tonight to ask the City Council to respect me and my family and declare the rest of June as Pride Month.
And Terry wasn't the only one to demand that City Council take action. He had 2 of his fellow community members show up and speak as allies.
Definition of an ally is one that walks the walk with the community. If you don't respect us all, you don't respect any of us.
Something like this, like burning a flag on someone's property, is just, it's mind-blowing, right? Like, where does that happen? It happens here. So we need to use that to advance our cause for change.
And change is happening. Terry and Keith put up new flags and a banner that reads, "Love always wins." And for the first time ever, the pride flag is flying at homes in small town Corsicana, Texas.
70-year-old neighbor has 2 up at her house, but as you drive around town, there's other neighborhoods where they're starting to pop up. We've seen 4 or 5. I was told that a lady has ordered 50 pride flags, and they're passing them out all over town in support. It's an emotional time, you know, because something good is coming out of it.
As we wrapped up our time together, I asked Terry if he was afraid it would happen again.
Fear breeds hate. And so we're not fearful because we love, and we want to show people that we can overcome hate and by not being fearful and by loving our neighbors, and we love our neighbor.
Chandler has big ambitions that include opening an accredited bank in her high school, studying at the prestigious Columbia University, and becoming a plastic surgeon. But her advice to younger students wanting to follow in her footsteps is simple.
You need to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, you have your couple people that do, but not everybody is going to believe in you, and you have to be the one to believe in yourself to know that you can do what you need to do and what you want to do.
And Lupe Zapata joins us now with a special guest. Hey, Lupe, what's going on this morning?
Good morning, you guys. I have the Chandler Vernon with me this morning. Such an honor that she was able to join us. Now, we have some questions for you guys to test your financial literacy.
Oh, you're gonna put
to
some...
see if that's something that you guys are knowledgeable about.
Let's
Totally
do it.
put you on blast.
All right.
So, Chandler, you have
ready.
some questions. Why don't you
Yes.
quiz Charles and Alex?
Okay.
Everyone has a story to tell, and our stories, they connect us. This Thanksgiving week, we're sharing real stories from Texans random enough to share. I'm Spectrum News reporter Lupe Zapata, and I love the art of storytelling. I'm using this comfy couch to invite unsuspecting people to take a seat and tell me a story, Texas.
One thing that connects us all is gratitude. We all have that one thing or one person we're thankful for. I'm here at Clyde Warren Park in downtown Dallas, and I'm asking people to sit down and tell me what they're thankful for.
I'm thankful for having parents and a family that loves me, and having a house, having a school to go to, and not being poor, having people to rely on like my cousins.
11-year-old Ashton understood the assignment, but before he wrapped up his Thanksgiving list, he remembered his favorite teacher.
Her name's Miss Yeager.
Your face kind of lit up when you started talking about your teacher. Why are you thankful for her?
I would be stuck behind grades if it wasn't for her.
Right there. Yeah, I think that's one coming out of a sweet potato. Yay!
Stephanie Yeager is a cool teacher.
Oh, look, there's more.
That's according to Ashton.
It's working!
That's really cool.
It's working!
She's an instructional coach at Ashton's school, and she's also in charge of the student-run garden. It's her passion project.
You can see that it's pretty crowded in here, and that's part of the lesson, is to teach the students then that they can't plant so many things in this one bed because then the plants can't grow.
Miss Yeager isn't Ashton's primary teacher, but she's been tutoring him since he was in the first grade.
It's tough at times because we have to knuckle down and do serious work, but then we also do a lot of fun things together too.
Ready? I'm the Mavericks, and she's the Spurs. 2-0.
Ashton and Miss Yeager figured out he learns best from one-on-one lessons.
So when Ashton and I first got together back in first grade, he had a lot of frustrations with his learning. Hard for him to focus sometimes, hard for him to understand, hard for him to read.
Now a 6th grader, Ashton has come a long way, and Miss Yeager couldn't be more proud.
And so you've seen him grow from the very frustrated child to the child this year that just can't wait to get in here and learn.
Has she made learning easier for you?
Most definitely. She has made learning a lot easier for me. She breaks down stuff at the point where I can do it on my own now.
As our time together wrapped up, I asked Miss Yeager if she had a special teacher she was thankful for.
Her name is Mrs. Cottingham, and she was one of my teachers in high school. I probably had her in 1981 or 81, 82.
You were in high school back then?
She helped me with writing. She helped me finally make that connection with how to write. And so I will never forget her for that.
And Ashton will never forget Miss Yeager.